Hello students, we are starting new chapter number 8 from your textbook, which is motion. So you know what is motion. When something moves from one place to another at a given time, you say that the object is in motion. In this chapter we will study about motion, that what is motion, describing motion. We will also study motion on a straight line. We will also describe motion by graphical representation, and then we will study about circular motion. In this chapter you will learn some terms like speed, velocity, distance, displacement, acceleration, etc. You have heard some of these words and you are aware of that. So let's start this chapter. In everyday life we see that some objects are at motion and some are at rest. Like birds, they fly, they are in motion. Like fish, it swims. Like blood, it flows through your arteries. So these all objects are in motion. Atoms, molecules, these are all in motion. Our planets, stars, even our galaxies, all are in motion. We generally perceive an object in motion while it's changing its position. Like this pen, it is changing its position from here to here when I write this, so it is in motion. But sometimes we infer them through indirect evidences. Like air, you can't see air, but you observe or you conclude that air is in motion by the movement of dust, leaves, etc. So this motion is perceived indirectly, and some are perceived directly, which change its position at a given time period. Like the phenomena of sunrise, sunsets, changing of seasons. You know that these phenomena like sunrise, sunset and changing of seasons, that is winter, summer and monsoon, it is done by the motion of our planet Earth. But we don't observe any time that Earth is moving. We conclude it by indirect evidences like sunrise, sunset, etc. Sometimes what happens, a object is moving for one observer and at rest for another observer. Now you may wonder how it is this possible. For example, passengers in moving bus. When a bus is moving, the passengers inside the bus, they think that trees are in motion, they are moving backwardly. You have experienced this. Now for a person who is standing outside on the road, he sees that this bus and the passengers in it both are moving, but for the passenger who is sitting in the bus, Other passengers are at rest for him, but for the person outside, the whole bus is moving. So by this you can say that most motions are complex. Some may move in straight line, some may take a circular motion, some may rotate on itself like our planet Earth, some may vibrate. So these all are motion: moving on a straight line, having a circular path, rotation, vibration. These all are kind of motions. So first we will see about this motion on this straight line. The topic is describing motion. How can you describe motion? When you describe a location, any location, if you are describing a location, you specify a reference point. Like if you want to say that a school in a village, this is the school in a village, it is 2 kilometers on north by a railway station. You can only specify location of an object through a reference point. If it is a school which is 2 kilometers north from railway station, or 2 kilometers west from a hospital, so there is always a reference point. This is the reference point. So this reference point can be different according to our conveniences. So these reference points are generally called as origin when you are talking about motion. So these reference points are origin. So let's understand the motion along a straight line. So first let us draw a straight line. This is the straight line. To count distance, we have to add a distance scale. That is, if you are talking about distance, it might be in meter, centimeter, or kilometer. So here we will objectify it as kilometer. So these 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 up to 60, this is kilometer, or you can say distance. Now this is the reference point, or you can say origin, starting point of a object for its motion. Now this object travels from its origin to point A, and then again travels back to point B, and then finally stops at point C. So let's say this, that A, B and C, they represents position of an object. A, B and C, these are position of an object at different time. Now if you want to know the total path length of object, total path length covered by a object, then it is from O to A, because we said that first it traveled from O to A, then A to B, or A to C through B. So let's see total path length of an object, that is OA from O to A plus A to back C through B. B is between the A and C, so you can just pass that. So what will be the distance from A O to A, it is 60 kilometers. So 60 kilometer plus from A to C, that is 60 to 25, so it is 35 kilometer. So what will be the total distance? It will 95 kilometer. Total distance traveled by this object from O to A and A to C. So this is the distance traveled by this object. To specify a distance, we only need a number or numerical value. Like here it is 95 kilometer. There are certain physical values which are described by just its numerical value. We don't need to specify direction here, just the number, that is 95 kilometer by an object. So what does this states? This states its magnitude, that how much it traveled. It is magnitude. Certain physical quantities which are described only by numerical value, it called as its magnitude. Now here again on this straight line, we know that object started from this origin, so it is called as initial position. It traveled from O to A, then A to C through B. So what is the final position? Final position is C. Initial position was O. So what is the distance between its initial position and final position? So it is just 25 kilometer from its initial position to its final position. It is 25 kilometers. So this is called as displacement. It is called as displacement. So what is the definition of displacement? It is shortest distance. It is shortest distance measured from its initial position to its final position. It is known as displacement, the shortest distance measured from initial position to its final position. So here we have seen that distance traveled was 95 because it traveled from O to A, then A to B, then B to C. But the final distance which was covered from initial position to final position was just 25 kilometers. So it is called as displacement, shortest distance measured from initial position to its final position. So sometimes magnitude of distance and displacement are same sometime, and sometime they are not same. Like if you see here, if object travel from this O to A, just here it is not coming back to C, just it travel from this to this point. So the distance travel will be 60 kilometer from O to A, and displacement initial position to final position will also be 60 kilometers. So here distance and displacement both are same, but sometimes if it travel back here, the distance will covered will be 95 kilometer, but displacement from initial to final position is just 25 kilometers. So distance and displacement can be same or can be different. Sometimes distance can be much larger if the object travel from its initial position to find A and again from A to O. So the distance travel will be 120, 60 plus 60, but displacement is 0. So displacement sometimes can be 0 also. So this distance and displacement these both qualities are generally used to describe overall motion of an object from its initial position to final position, or initial location to its final location. To locate an object or motion of an object, distance and displacement are used. Now, to describe motion, we will study another terms like uniform motion and non-uniform motion. You are aware of this word also, uniform and non-uniform. Let's see what is it. For an example, if an object is moving, it is moving on a straight line, it traveled 5 meter from here to here, 5 meter in first second, also traveled another 5 meter in second, and travel another 5 meter in third second. So you see the object is traveling exact distance at exact interval of time. Here 5 meter also covered in 1 second, another 5 meter also covered in 1 second, and another 5 meter are also covered in 1 second. So you can say that the object covers 5 kilometer at each second. Object covers 5 kilometer at each second. So this object covers equal distance 5 meter, that is 5 meter not kilometer, 5 meter is equal distance in equal interval of time. It is covering equal distance in equal interval of time, so you can say that it is in uniform motion. So in uniform motion, the time interval should be small, but in our day-to-day life we see that object covers unequal distance in equal or unequal time. So when an object covers unequal distance in equal time interval, for example, if a car is moving through a crowded road, if it is crowded, you will see that car will move 10 meter in few time, and if the road is free now, it will move maybe 50 meter at the same 10 second, in which it covered only 10 meter, it will cover 50 meter in another 10 seconds. So you can say that this object is covering unequal distance in equal time. So this motion is called as non-uniform motion. So you understood uniform and non-uniform motion. There is a table given in your textbook, table number 8.1, in which distance traveled by object A and object B are given at a specific interval of time. So by this table you can say that which object is in uniform motion or which is in non-uniform motion. Now this was about describing motion. We describe motion by distance, displacement, uniform and non-uniform. Now we will study measuring the rate of motion. What is the rate of motion? We will study it. If you watch cricket, you have seen that there is a bowling speed given on the screen. Maybe it is 143 km per hour or 149 km per hour or 90 km per hour if Jadeja is bowling. So you see there are different speeds given on this screen. So what does this indicate? So you can say that if a object is moving, if objects are moving, they take different amount of time. They take different amount of time to cover same amount of distance. If you say that you are going on bike from Bhavnagar to Taraja, and you are going in car from Bhavnagar to Taraja, so car will reach earlier before bike. So you can say that car is traveling at more speed than bike. So to measure rate of motion, we generally find out the distance traveled by it in unit time. So this unit time can be 1 minute, 1 second, or 1 hour. So generally this quantity, that is distance traveled by object in unit time, this quantity is called as speed. It is called as speed. The SI unit of speed is meter per second. It can be written like this or like this. So to specify speed, we require only its magnitude, that is distance traveled by it in a unit time. So most of the cases around us are generally in non-uniform motion, means they are covering unequal amount of distance at unit time. So here we will count its average speed and not its speed at different times. If you travel from BVN to Taraja in car, you will cover distance from Bhavnagar to, you say, Adhewada, that is about 10 km in half an hour. You will take half an hour due to traffic, but after that in half an hour you may travel up to 30 km. So you see the speed is not same. Here the speed was lower, here the speed is higher. So we calculate average speed. So average speed is equal to total distance travel upon total time taken. If an object travel a distance s is distance, it can either be 50 km, 100 km, whatever, in time t, then its speed is described by v. Its speed will be v is equal to s, that is distance upon time taken. So this way you can calculate speed. So if you say a car travels 100 km in 2 hours, so you can say its average speed is 50 km per hour. So this is average speed. So we will study about speed with direction. Here we haven't mentioned direction, we just said 100 km. We haven't said in which direction. So speed with direction is called as velocity. If you describe here the direction, it is then called as velocity. But we will study about this in next lecture. Thank you, students.